Tonight on Patriots Unfiltered on TV, a statement win on the road against a division rival. Drake May introduces himself to the NFL. Stefon Diggs makes a primetime statement. Don't you forget about me. And in Trash Talk, how will this win change expectations for this team?
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
The kick sail into the uprights. It's good! And the Patriots have the lead with 15 seconds to go. The rookie delivers.
The NFL's last unbeaten team goes down as rookie Andy Borregales is dead solid perfect in Buffalo. This was the Drake May Patriots fans had been waiting for. Game on the line, executing the game-winning drive, Josh Allen. Hello again, everyone. I'm Alex Francisco, and this is Patriots Unfiltered on TV. And let's waste no time getting into this one. Let's blow the whistle and huddle up with Paul Perillo and Mike Dussault. No Bills backups, no wind, no asterisks. The Patriots win into Buffalo and upset a Super Bowl contender in primetime and put the rest of the league on notice. Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, have you guys come down from that final drive of the game yet?
Huge win for the Patriots. We're trying to figure out when the last time they won a game this big, and I think some of us are thinking we're going all the way back to the Super Bowl. Just a great effort. I mean, what can you say for Drake May, for Stefon Diggs? Those guys led the way and really just played, I mean, the best, at least the best half of Drake's career.
Because I got to say, like, I know I picked the Patriots to win, but I still, and like in the back of my mind, I was like, did they really just beat Buffalo in Buffalo? And you're absolutely right. I mean, Buffalo didn't play great, but there was no, underlying circumstances. The Patriots were the better team for the majority of the night, and they certainly were the better team when the game was on the line. That's the coming out party that Drake May was looking for, his first game-winning drive, and it couldn't have come on a bigger stage. I think the way that Mike Vrabel embraced this challenge heading into the game, I think it couldn't have worked out any better for a culture-building win like this one. I think Vrabel pushed all the right buttons.
A slow start. They couldn't get much done to move the ball in the first half, but then Drake just really settled in and started dealing. What adjustments did you see them make, and was that the best half of his career?
Yeah, absolutely it was. And I mean, I think you really just kind of feel like Drake and Diggs went into berserker mode and they couldn't be stopped. There wasn't really much semblance of a running game. You can't really say, oh, they started spreading the ball around. It was really just about Drake May and Stefon Diggs willing this team to victory on the offensive side of the ball. And, give some credit to the defense as well. They got helped out with some turnovers, but they also, made some stops inside the red zone that they had to get to, keep the clamps down on Buffalo's prolific offense.
The majority of the credit I give to Drake May and Stefon Diggs for just being the best players on the field, and that's what it was. They had some immediate pressure on Drake at times. He's rolling out, he's extending plays, and he's making some unbelievably accurate throws on the move, off platform. That's not scripted. That's not anything that Josh McDaniels is dialing up. And then, I don't know, maybe 3 of those catches might, only a guy as special as Diggs is able to get his feet in bounds, use the hands to make these difficult catches. Early in the game, he had the sliding catch where he's sort of sliding on his back to keep the ball off the ground. Just 2 guys really kind of went into playground mode and dominated.
I mean, this is the first time we've seen a Patriots receiver have 2 consecutive 100-yard games since Julian Edelman.
Cool.
It's just, the win obviously meant a lot to everyone, but I think especially so to Diggs.
These last 2 games, Stefon Diggs has proven that he can stick with the best of them, and that chemistry that he has with Drake May, plus the leadership that he's providing for a young receiving room that, let's face it, had some issues last year. And now you're seeing guys like Kayshon Boutte have the mental awareness to get down. You're seeing them taking to the coaching, taking to the leadership that guys like Stefon Diggs are providing.
Maybe we can spend a little less time worrying about if he's on the outside or in the slot or where he's lining up, and just say the Patriots have a legitimate number 1 receiver. And for a few years, we got a lot of pushback, Mike, when we would talk about it on Patriots Unfiltered during the week. People would say that stuff is overrated. Tom Brady never really had the star receiver. You don't need that. It's well, no, you're seeing the impact that it can have. Because Drake May had a number 1 receiver in Buffalo, the Patriots were able to pull off a huge road upset and I think really set themselves up for a very, very successful season now.
The defense. I mean, making strides, held Buffalo to 3 points at the half, 20 points when it was all said and done. I know the Bills played a pretty sloppy game, and it wasn't perfect for the defense, but it was progress. What made the difference in kind of containing some of their skill guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, we point out the penalties that Buffalo had early on, and I think, but just coming out of the gate, you know, being able to get a stop, and Buffalo's been so prolific right out of the gate, scoring touchdowns, and it's been a big cause of concern for the Patriots defense. They're 31st in red zone defense coming in. It's something Mike Vrabel's talked about. We got to figure out a way to get stops in the red zone. Now, you know, you also hold them to that last field goal as well toward the end of the game when you might have been down by 4, and all of a sudden you're now chasing a touchdown. So Robert Spillane punching balls out, making tackles, making stops. We're starting to see what he has. And, you know, Milton Williams, Christian Barmore continue to be really disruptive, having Christian Gonzalez back. And even Jelani Tavai, I think, has really given them, you know, a new twist over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, to me, it was all about Gonzalez. And I think he just makes it, he's the Diggs for the secondary. He makes everybody else better. He slots everybody where they're supposed to be. And the game's on the line. The last 2 defensive plays of the night, your second-team All-Pro cornerback comes up huge and locks down Keon Coleman and then Khalil Shakir. You know, if that pass to Shakir is completed, that's probably going to be the last offensive possession of the night. Now you're wondering, can we keep him out of the end zone and get to overtime? But you make that play, and Gonzalez steps up at a big spot. That, to me, is the biggest difference in the defense the last couple of weeks, Gonzalez's return.
Is it just a matter of getting healthy for us to finally see what the defense is kind of going to shape up to be?
I would say to some extent. I mean, I think Jelani Tavai is really a great piece to add into this defense. I thought the depth, both along the edge and at off-the-ball linebacker inside, was a little bit tenuous. But to get him back, and he can pad the depth in both of those spots. We saw them play a little bit more base defense. He had a couple really solid edge set over the course of the game. So I still am concerned a little bit about their overall depth. Right now, they got those 2 guys back over the last 2 weeks, and it's really added a new dimension on multiple levels.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. As is, I think everything is really promising on both sides of the ball right now. Just got to stay healthy. I don't think there's a tremendous amount of depth.
Yeah, and then talk about complementary football, special teams, you know. Beringer had some good punts. And then Andy Borregales, he struggled early in the season, missed 2 kicks. I don't know if he's missed since. And then to go in to a game like that as a rookie kicker and just ice, you know.
Yeah, awesome for him. And I mean, you talk about what this game meant for Drake May and being able to go into Buffalo to get a win, to execute a game-winning drive. But it's also about a rookie, Andy Borregales, who hit all his extra points. You know, it was a problem earlier in the year, and we've seen some inconsistencies through the summer. And then it set up that big kick at the end. You know, right in that range of like just enough to make it interesting, not one of those like, it was a pressure-filled kick. I know Drake didn't want to watch it. He was on the sidelines hiding his eyes. But great for them.
The final kickoff is 15 seconds left. I know Buffalo needs, you know, kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
But they covered and executed that kickoff absolutely to perfection. The kickoff forced the returner, Samuel, to come out of the, you know, it's on the 1 or 2 yard line. And then you get the break where he starts to go across the field looking to make a big play. Leads to time coming off the clock. They covered it perfectly. They get a penalty to boot. So give the special. Jeremy Springer absolutely earned his paycheck in that one.
A win like that, what does it do for the confidence of this team? Should they feel like that when they're playing like that they can just beat anyone in this league?
Well, that's, you know, kind of the blessing and the curse of this win, because you go into Buffalo and you win, you would say, well, where shouldn't we be able to win if we can win in that place? I think for the Patriots, it's just about the confidence that it can still.
You cannot lose the momentum that you built, and this isn't one of those. Well, if you told me they'd be 3-3, no way. You got to go and take care of business.
Much more still to come on this edition of Patriots Unfiltered on TV. The Patriots are back on the road against the Saints team that just won its first game of the season. We'll preview the matchup in New Orleans. Fred Kirsch on the impact of a win in Buffalo. Trash Talk weighs in on whether this win changes expectations for the Patriots season. And I'll go one-on-one with Christian Gonzalez.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots, and by Sports Illustrated Tickets. 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets. Same seats, better prices. Fans deserve better.
You're watching Patriots Unfiltered on TV. What's up, everybody? It's Evan Lazar. It's the Week 6 Patriots Unfiltered Film Room. We're going to talk about this matchup on Sunday down in New Orleans against the Saints. And I want to talk a little bit about this Saints defense under defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, who runs some pretty exotic schemes here from the Saints. So let's see what Drake May is going to see on Sunday afternoon. So one of the keys to this Saints defense is they run a lot of match zone coverage, which means you're going to be carrying the vertical routes up the field and you're going to be passing off those underneath routes. So as we roll this play here a little bit, watch this motion into the formation. Let's pause it right here for a second. So the Bills are going to run what's called a mesh concept. So you're going to have these receivers running these shallow crossing routes underneath and the running back on the wheel. Then you're going to get this post route here from the inside receiver. So as we roll the play just a little bit longer, pause it right here again. So what you can see is that the defensive back here and here, they're matching these vertical routes. But the defender here at the bottom of the screen, he has fallen off the shallow, and now he's getting back on the post. And as we roll the play a little bit longer, there's just no place for Josh Allen to go with the football, and he ends up having to take a sack. So when you look at this Saints defense on film, they do a lot of different exotic things with pressure and disguise in the back end. Those match zone coverages are tough to deal with. You got to figure out who's carrying the verticals, who's passing off the underneath routes, and make sure that you're on your P's and Q's. I'm Evan Lazar.
The Saints are fresh off their first win of the season after taking advantage of 5 New York Giants turnovers. Woof.
I think they just turned it over again. That was bad. Did you watch any of that?
I did,
I think it was 5 straight possessions they turned the ball over. And even Fred's boy Scatterboo. What are we doing?
I mean, it makes it easy to see why this game got flexed out of that 425 time slot. But now, Paul, Deuce, how are we feeling about the Patriots' chances to go into New Orleans and string together 3 consecutive wins?
I think New Orleans is always a tough place to play, and I think that can play into the Patriots' favor, not to have a letdown coming off a big road win in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. You don't come home and think, oh, we're getting a cupcake team that only has 1 win. You have to go down to New Orleans. It's going to be loud. They are passionate down there. But at the same time, you look at the 2 rosters, and I think the Patriots, should be the favorites in this.
Yeah, it's a maturity check. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You're going to be flying high after one of your biggest wins in a long time.
Definitely.
It's a young roster, but show some maturity. Go down and take care of business. You're a far better team.
The Giants are a great cautionary tale. You turn the ball over that much, you're probably going to lose the game. The Patriots shouldn't need to learn that lesson. They learned it a couple of weeks ago. The Patriots, I think there's enough there for Mike Vrabel to say, this is a team we need to take seriously. A lot of veterans on the roster, guys that somehow are still holdover from the Sean Payton era.
Cam Jordan, absolutely.
Taysom Hill, or
Alvin Kamara, as he's still singing.
Demario Davis. I mean, they do have some veteran talent. The Saints went into Buffalo the previous week and had an opportunity to win in the fourth quarter, if not for an overturned touchdown pass to old friend Brandon Cooks in the end zone. So if you do these things, if you go down there and you don't come to play and you're sloppy and you commit penalties, you can lose to anyone in this league.
Year 2 for the Saints quarterback. That was his first win as a starter. What have you guys seen from Spencer Rattler this season?
Yeah, well, I mean, getting his first win, he's got some weapons, and I think that's the only thing that truly really concerns me with the speed that they have at wide receiver. You saw them break that game opening against the Giants with a big play to Shaheed, so Patriots pass coverage is going to have to be aware. I think it's going to be a good challenge for them dealing with those guys. But, again, Rattler, newish type starter, and a guy that, these games, you saw him against Jackson Dart, these young quarterbacks. Drake May has to show he's above that level now and to start delivering on the road again.
Yeah, and what I've seen is a lot of short stuff. The completion percentage is high because they're not pushing the ball down the field. Shaheed would be one of the exceptions to that. He has speed to burn. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that they're asking him to do too much. And Rattler does. He's a pretty good athlete. He moves around a little bit, buys some time. But again, just be focused and have some discipline in that secondary, and you should be fine. Kamara is a great player, but he's a third down back, really, in essence. So
30 years old.
They're not going to necessarily line up with Kendre Miller and just run it down your throat all day unless you don't come to play. This, to me, is all about the Patriots. Has very little to do with the Saints.
Yeah, so just don't beat yourselves. I'm now joined in the studio by Patriots cornerback Christian Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us.
Of course, appreciate it.
Now, I know you told the media Monday that you're feeling 100% 2 games back now. I'm wondering, was there a difference in how you were feeling in the first game back against Carolina compared to this past week against Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a little more comfortability being back out there for a second week. It's been fun to get back out there.
I want to ask you about some stuff you told us in the off season. You picked up Pilates as kind of an alternative training method. What made you want to get into that?
Yeah, I got big into that after my rookie year. After I got hurt, I couldn't really do any actual weights.
Yeah.
So my trainer just had me start doing it, and I hated it. I still hate it, but it's very good. I definitely feel better doing it. I can feel like I have a lot more control of the smaller muscles. But it's a challenge, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, I always say it's like you do Pilates and you discover muscles you didn't even realize you had.
Yes, it's not fun at all.
Yeah, well, did you do it for this recovery as well? Because the low impact might be kind of beneficial.
Not for my hamstring, because I was up here. I don't got a Pilates place up here. I could probably find one, but I don't really want to do it, to be honest.
It's hard, right? And someone who's definitely happy to see you back, Stephon Gilmore. He was tweeting about your huge back-to-back plays against Buffalo. I'm wondering if he hit you up after the game or what your relationship's like with him.
Yeah, he hit me up. I mean, it's awesome to hear from him, to somebody that's done it at the highest level, that's won Super Bowls, multiple awards. To hear from him anything, just even not about football.
Stefon Diggs, are you picking his brain about receiver tells, and what can you learn as a cornerback from someone like him, and then also vice versa?
Sometimes he'll come up to me and ask me a question about a corner that he's going up in the game, and then I'll talk to him about something about the receiver that they've gave me a release. By me, it means everything to have him on our side, and he's a great leader, great teammate.
The defense, it really seems like it's coming together. Maybe that's a product of you and Jelani Tavai being back. You guys are getting healthier. You're getting familiar with the new system. I'm wondering how you're feeling about where this thing's headed, because you've been in a few defenses here at this point.
We're still putting it together. It's just been, we're flying around trying to make plays, and we just want to get the ball back to Drake.
Well, hopefully we see a lot of that this Sunday against New Orleans. Best of luck to you.
I appreciate it.
And we will be back with more Patriots Unfiltered on TV after the break.
Patriots Unfiltered on TV is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots, and by Sports Illustrated Tickets. 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets. Same seats, better prices. Fans deserve better.
You're watching Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
What a win! If you're a Patriots fan, and if you're not, why are you watching this show? You should be elated over beating the Bills in Buffalo on Sunday night. It was this regime's best win to date, no doubt. I've even heard some of the scribes call this the signature win for this version of the Patriots. Oh, gee, I hope not. I mean, when I think of a signature win for a team, a player, or a coach, it's one that defines them. See this win? That's who I am, or that's who we are. After a good owner, the two most important things to have in the NFL is a good head coach and a quarterback. Can we check those boxes? I think so. So it sure looks like things are headed in the right direction. And if that's true, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of great wins like Sunday night. And eventually, one of them will be the kind the Patriots or Mike Vrabel or Drake May will want to call their signature win. Sunday was amazing, but there's more to come.
A year ago, when the Patriots opened the season with a win over the Bengals on the road, the expectations changed for that team, and they unfortunately couldn't live up to them. But the win over the Bills in Buffalo has Patriots Nation brimming with confidence. Should it? Mike Dussault and Paul Perillo ponder the perils in this week's Trash Talk.
For me, my expectations haven't really changed. I continue to think this is a team that doesn't quite have the depth. Mike Vrabel hasn't been able to completely round out this team that he needs to have, I think, to endure the long course of the season. The other couple areas of concern for me are they got to run the ball better. And I also think the pass rush, especially up the edges, needs to be a little better. So I still have causes for concern. We'll see how it goes. It's a long season. We'll see how these games start to add up.
I'm all in, baby. And I'm going to start by saying that maybe my expectations heading into the season were a little lower than yours. Yeah. I don't think we were that far apart, but I kind of felt, 7, 8 wins. Eight wins kind of felt like the sweet spot. I'm up in that number right now into 9 or 10. I think when you go on the road and you beat what I think is the best team in the AFC, and I still think that. This isn't one of those Patriot fan things. I told you they were overrated. No, I think the Bills are very good, and the Patriots showed that they could go blow for blow and come away with a win. So, yes, my expectations are higher. I now look at this as a playoff team. Given the schedule, you're right about the long haul. The attrition of a season can hit hard. So they have to stay healthy. I don't think there's a tremendous amount of depth. But right now, today, my expectations are on the rise.
What's most encouraging to me, though, is that you see the base of, as you like to say, a program here, I think. And that's what you're seeing with Mike Vrabel, instilling these players with that confidence, with that attitude. And, a win like this on the road could only improve that. But I still think there's going to be some issues that this team's going to have to solve along the way as they continue to build towards that identity.
And that was the part I think that was so important about Sunday night's win. It was a culture builder. When Vrabel goes into that week and he puts so much into it, and he was not afraid. He embraced the challenge of going to Buffalo on the national stage. That's because Mike Vrabel made a big deal of it, and I think the team responded. You have to take care of business. You can't just pencil in wins. As the coaches like to say, wins are hard to come by in the NFL, but this is a team that should be beating teams like Tennessee and Cleveland and New Orleans this week. We'll see if they have the maturity to do it.
Yeah, we'll see how they stack up down in New Orleans. Stay tuned for predictions after the break.
Now back to Patriots Unfiltered on TV.
It's time for predictions. The Pats own a 10-6 lead in the series, and playing down in New Orleans, they are 5-1, so no Bourbon Street scaries there. The Patriots are 3.5-point favorites on the road, and the over-under is 46.5. Mike Dussault, can the Patriots continue their success in New Orleans?
I think they can, and I want to see this young team continue to find that consistency and the kind of way you need to play. I like the Patriots in this one. I think it's not a total blowout, but I like the Patriots. I'm going to say 27-13.
I do think there's a chance the Patriots are a little flat, at least at the start of this game, and I think it might be a slow build, but I think eventually the talent wins out. I think Drake May's on a bit of a heater, and I think they pile up some points. I'm going to say 27-6.
I'm going to go 31-13. I want to see a dominant win. I want to see the offense continue to roll, and 3 straight wins would feel really good.
It sure would. It's, great momentum to continue to build here in the part of the season where it feels like you're starting to find your stride.
Definitely. Well, that's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered on TV. As a reminder, you can catch us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on Patriots Unfiltered on Patriots.com from 12 to 2 p.m. For Paul Perillo, Mike Dussault, I'm Alex Francisco. We'll see you next week.